All right, I think we can start. I'm sure as soon as I say a word, my cat's gonna get summoned and gonna meow. If that's the case, I'll have to drop off for a little bit. What are we working on? So I think I'm just gonna. I said I would work on DSPy, but or DSpy. I don't know how it's pronounced. DSPY. Um, but I think I am going to continue on a little side quest that I started, which is having agents rewrite, clear up some of my documentation. And what I had these agents do right now is basically go over a bunch of files that they wrote and consolidate it out of other parts, and then basically try to build that stuff and write a report about it, right? And so um, I'm going to experiment a little bit with it because there is something that is interesting here. Non-existent outdated code examples. So this is weird. The problem with these reports, right, is that they do address things that if I give them to Sonnet, it's just gonna like melt. Um, So really interesting. And I wonder what the different formats of these reports are, if they're going to be in the same format or if they're going to be significantly different. Um, that's also something that's going to be curious. They are significantly different, right? So having them have a proper output is going to be interesting. Because I don't want to be involved too much, but I think you need to when you write documentation, because at the end of the day, it's going to be something that needs to be fairly tightly controlled. Uh, all right. What I'm going to try is actually ask an oracle to say, go over these reports in glazed using the oracle and make a concise yet addressing all critical issues list of changes to be made. I'm curious about this. So the Oracle calls O3, right? And I haven't played around with it too much. I know the first time I played with it, out came some pretty short things that were too short for what I wanted to do. So I know they're working. That Sourcegraph Amcode is working on it, and also since they are so generous in with tokens for me to play with, I'm going to dig a little bit deeper into that and then give them like some kind of write up. So we have this huge amount of reports about the documentation. What I did is like I consolidated the documentation, and I had like a whole spiel about like making it a little bit more readable, a little bit nicer. And then see the this was pretty fast. And I don't know if the Oracle has agent tools or if it's like literally just calling O3. Um, but yeah, we're going to do that, right? So what I'm going to do, I am in an intermediate commit. I'm going to add test. Oh, and this has like a lot of binaries in it, huh? I am not going to add test. Is this going to delete it? I'm going to remove the force flag. All right. Go ahead. Keep a detailed log. I don't know if I want to do it in a sub agent. I'm not going to do it in a sub agent because I'm going to start a new session and then I'm going to have it test these changes potentially. We'll see. So the goal here is what I did is I had all these documents and then I basically opened a new session with no context and I said like, please, each sub agent should implement all the things that are in this documentation file and then report on any kind of errors that happen. And so like some parts where like, oh yeah, there's a function that's mentioned in there that doesn't exist. There's like XYZ that didn't work. There's like an example flag name that was colliding. So these things are actually kind of important because every time I'm going to refer to the documentation, those things will like happen. And it's mostly stuff I give to the models, right? So here we can see it changing, say the name filter issue that it had because my structured data layer has a filter flag, which was maybe not the most clever idea. And the idea I have in general for this is it would be pretty nice if there's like a nightly job that just like goes over the latest mergers that were done, finds all the documentation that's relevant to it. Hey, Andrew, how's it going? Find all the documentation that might be relevant, then goes over it, make sure it's up to date or remove the deprecated things. And so that in the morning you come back to like an improved code base. And because it's nightly, you can probably use like some maybe some batch mode stuff or some models like things like this. So curious about that. We'll see. This is doing a lot. I like the Oracle to filter down the most critical issues. I think that was a pretty decent prompt to say use the Oracle to boil down all this Sonnet stuff that happened. What am I cooking today, Andrew? I am working on like agent workflows and I want to find, I'm playing with a bunch of different ideas. I have like, so this one is just updating the documentation for my main framework package, something I wanted to do for a long time. I added a little feature and then I was like, okay, let's clean stuff up. My bigger project overall, like the focus that I have in the last couple of weeks is doing like big legacy code base, YOLO refactoring, I call it. So basically using the very loose prompting approach of just like, oh, do X and then not prompt, not be in the loop. So try to do pretty big legacy code stuff or like in a bigger context, and then see what the structures are that work so that I can, so that I don't end up with a lot of slop. Like currently agents, if you let them go for too long, I find that they just like have a tendency to add a ton of useless stuff and then just completely mess up a code base. It's up to the point where it's often easier to restart. And so I'm trying to figure out, because it seems eminently possible that, right, like I take a code base and I'm like, oh, I want to make this event driven. And it's not, who's Ralph? But the what was I going to say? Oh yeah, maybe. I don't think of it in the same way at all. Like I don't think of it as a loop that like adds to itself. It's more thinking about. Actually, it's pretty different. I am trying to find a set of prompting techniques and tools to allow me to do something that's very controlled, yet very easy to prompt, right? Like if I say, oh, turn this into an event-driven framework, and I point at like a Ruby on Rails application, If you go with current agents, there's going to be like a big ball of junk coming out because it's going to try to make all kinds of weird architecture things. Then it's going to try to transition from one to the other, and you just end up with something very weird. Even if you have like intermediate planning steps, right? Like even if you use something to design a pretty good implementation path, there's pretty good chances that it won't work. But I kind of want to be able to do that. I want to be able to say, refactor this to be event driven and come back to something that's good. Um, yeah. So thinking about re-implementing popular things like DSPy is definitely something. That's the kind of things that I would like to do, right? It's like, oh, re-implement DSPy in Go with a. I don't know if that's like maybe even too far fetched for what I want to do, but I want to do big steps, right? It's like I wanna, for example, the example that I wanted to work on yesterday that I didn't get to because I got sidetracked by something really interesting, which I'll show once this is over. Um, was I have these little radio devices and they have a serial protocol, and you need to have this like lower level kind of serial protocol handling. On top of that, you need to have like packet handling. And then on top of the packet handling, you need to have like this one more layer of like event driven stuff. And I kind of vibed it to say like use the Python driver. So I had it build like a straight up implementation, which kind of worked, but ran into issues with the embedded device resetting the serial console. And um, after this first implementation, I said like, oh yeah, can you fix this with like a retry loop or whatever? And then I said, yeah, look at the Python implementation and fix it. And at the end, I had like 4 different implementation because it was trying to keep backwards compatibility. It was trying to do all of these things that actually should have been deprecated. So part of it is just like Sonnet likes to keep these like backwards things, but also if you ask Sonnet to um, God damn it. Uh, if you ask Sonnet to critique itself, it's not gonna really critique itself. And then even if you have O3 and an oracle in the loop, right, like the AMP code oracle, that's not enough to do these like long running things. And so part of it, I think, is that prompts the way agents like I don't have enough control and visibility into what AMP code does because you do need to, I think, have a prompting technique or like an agent structure that is actually customized to the task at hand. Um, and further than a plan, right? Like a plan being just a document, and then I do want to have like a like kind of an agent scheduler or like agent backbone that keeps the agent on track instead of just like piling stuff on and then hoping that the ingrained tool prompting and the base model are able to steer it long enough. So yeah, some kind of orchestrator, but basically keep it low, right? Like I tried playing with files, and that's like works kind of well, but also not too well. So so we resolved all of this. So this is going to be interesting. It like cleaned up the documentation, um, which is interesting. I wonder how I should do. I'm going to take the diff and I'm going to eclipse it, and I am going to. Um, I wonder if for each file in this diff we have a folder in test launch. I do need to commit the test directory. Um, how do I find the binaries in here? I know I built something like that the other day. Elf. Find test type F executable. I guess it's not that bad, huh? Okay. So this is a poop commit that will remove add test code. And so what I'm going to do now is for each file in this diff, we have a folder in test. Launch a sub-agent that tries to apply, update, test the changes that we made to the documentation to make sure it now has been corrected. Write a second report inside each of those folders called report after fix.md. We want to make sure we addressed these critical issues. One sub-agent per folder in parallel. And now I'm going to paste the diff. And there we go. Yeah, currently my language of choice is Go, just because I'm productive in it. I like it. It's like, I find it the right balance. Rust pisses me off every time. C++ pisses me off every time. And then I don't like Python or TypeScript. I like TypeScript actually. But I like having like binaries that I can copy around. What about yours? See, Elixir and OTP is something that I always wanted to do, like Erlang since the early 2000s. And I did a couple of tutorials and like never got the opportunity to dig deeper. But it's definitely just like one of the platforms that I wish I could play with. I just don't have the need for it right now, nor the time, nor do I know what it means to work in an LLM world where I mean, the platform is relevant, right? I don't know. I just don't have just don't feel I have like the curiosity right now to do it. Yeah, there's like a. So tell me more about Elixir and agent orchestration. What do you like about it? The cool thing about this vibe coding stuff is that I can have these conversations, which is really cool, while still making actually some significant progress on my frameworks. And I think that's like often overseen, that suddenly building software becomes something that can be like very collaborative and communicative, right? Like people who don't write software per se, if I put into their prompt what they're telling me, or or they do that, it's like we're building the software together. We're like having as much input together into this whole thing. Um, I'm actually doing all of this because I added like 3 lines of code to my framework and I was like, I need to update the documentation. And those 3 lines of code will make this other project that I have a little bit easier to handle. And then that project will allow me to do the first attempt at doing this like big refactor. Yeah, so you have these like process trees in Beam, right? And then if things fail, you can easily respool them, and they do messaging, right? So Erlang has this like weird Prolog pattern matching on messaging. if I remember correctly, and then you have like these supervisors that allow you to quickly restart basically green threads that will then at the end of the day it's like something, it's very like similar to what I do, which is like event driven stuff for everything, and then basically if like your Go crashes, it can come back and have like the event stream the same way. Um, but I think there's like a lot of very interesting things on the Beam platform. I actually was like in a seminar with Joe Armstrong in 2001 or so, but I was like a little shit and I didn't understand who I was in the room with. um, I was like, yeah, I was too young. I was like 17 or so, 18 maybe. But yeah, Elixir, multiple time been on my radar. This Gleam thing seems pretty fun too. Definitely, if I had one platform to learn, like I sadly I decided to give Rust a go, and Rust just annoys me, and the community around Rust annoys me too. Um, and sadly, I should have devoted that to Elixir. I think I would have been like happier. Not that I don't, not that I am bashing Rust, but I'm a little bit bashing Rust. It just, yeah, it just frustrates me. It's just like feels trying to solve puzzles that I don't feel I need to solve. And then also it's like fucking slow to compile. And then people called me like a criminal for writing in C++, plus plus, or like saying that my day job was C++, plus plus, and I was like, who are you? Like what is wrong with you? And I always got these kind of like vibes going to Rust meetups and stuff of like being, being better than other languages, and I was like, what? All right, so this seems to have worked, right? So this is cool. I wonder if it like cheated, right? Because it had the fixes in the context window. So I don't know if it cheated, but it's definitely going to be better than what we had before. So, whatever. All right, so we're going to add the PKG docs, the new ones. So this is books, or maybe we'll call it ambulance, books, updated documentation to address critical issues. I am going to, what is this thing in like program? Is this like a binary here? Yeah, this is, right? So now if I look for binaries, not path, what is that? Why doesn't it have, like, isn't this executable? Oh, did I delete them? Oh, okay, that's why. So, um, I'm going to commit the tests here as well, just to, and the MD file, just because I'm going to keep a bookmark. No, not A. Art, no, poop, umbrella, keep testing code that tested the documentation updates. So what is different in the PKG? Why didn't that commit? Oh, okay. Git diff PKG. So what's different here? Setup logging from parsed layers. Sure, why not? Update logging initialization. Let's do a format and a lint. Oh, the lint's gonna lint all the test files. That's maybe not that clever. Um, yeah. Event-driven stuff is just I think a nice way, especially with LLMs, right? Like I often wonder if like I can easily add features to existing things that I built because I use these patterns that allow me to basically greenfield new stuff and keep an LLM very, very tightly defined, right? It's like as long as the event definitions don't change, the LLM can do whatever. And because the event definitions are so semantically meaningful, if you do like domain driven design or so, that also keeps the LLM on track, right? Like if it receives a blah, blah, blah command and it can only send back like blah, blah, blah success and blah, blah, blah error, then there's only so much that the LLM can do wrong. And it just basically, by the virtue of the architecture, um, really like tightens the whole thing, right? Yeah, exactly. So I mean, I'm still like kind of an event driven. I like both. I'm very comfortable with it because I did embedded, but then this like big scale Kafka style projections, you know, like the table versus event stream duality, that's like still a little bit unclear to me. And actually, if we're talking event driven, actually, you'll see I've got something funny cooking too to do agent orchestration. That might actually be pretty interesting for you. And maybe we can do this. Maybe we can vibe this. So I was thinking of let's actually open a brainstorm O3. So actually, let me finish this pull request. Otherwise, well, I'll never get there. So everything's committed, right? So I'm going to tag this as bookmark 250712, which is agent testing documentation validity, git push tags, left hook, and then I'm going to git rebase interactive this on main, and we're going to drop this one, and we're going to drop this one. So I think that should have worked. Git diff stat origin main. We should have the doc, some example. The doc has disappeared. The README has been updated. Yeah, so this all looks good. So let me make a lint. To what? Wait, what? Oh, what did it list in Go work? Oh, because it tried to add all of these guys. All right. But yeah, event-driven stuff, I think it's the same as with in React applications. And I guess that's something that's common in Elixir as well as the state reducer pattern, where you define functional, right, like immutable projections, give them like an action name, and then you can like dispatch these actions to update like basically an immutable store. That's a pattern that works like magic for LLMs as well, because you can dispatch these actions any point in the React app, and these actions have very clear names. They're not like set state modal close button or whatever. They're like dispatch close modal, right? And then because of that, the model, like it doesn't need any documentation because the code is so clearly readable. And that always, I mean, it's great for humans, but it's also really good for LLMs. And then you can record these state reducer actions the same way you can replay your event stream, right? And then that's really good for debugging because the model knows exactly what happened when. The same way that if you replay an event stream, it'll be able to say like, I know why it's like missing this event or whatever, and it's like just really, you don't even need to add logging. You just need to listen to the stream of events and record it. Like it's just so useful. You can also just like easily create like monitoring tools and stuff. Yeah, it's these two patterns, state reducer and event driven design, is I think one of the major reasons why I'm able to build like big code bases. I'm like, dude, it just works, right? Like everything is like green lines. That's fine. Like I'm adding functionality, I'm adding code. That's cool. I don't need to modify code to add a new feature because that's an anti-pattern anyway, right? It's and it's weird, like getting criticism for like when I add a feature, it's all green. So people are like, "Yeah, you're only green fielding." It's like, yes and no. So, all right. Anyway, so this is set. This is good. Make lint. Make test. All right. Left hook 0 git push, and I think we have a pull request that's open. So I'm gonna merge this, and then we'll build something funny, and that will speak to you. You'll immediately, I think, understand what I'm going for. So let's wait until these finish. But in the meantime, I'm going to go to ChatGPT and just like start brainstorming. Maybe I should brainstorm in Obsidian on the side. Let me close these guys. Maybe I should do it in Cursor. Maybe I should start a new project. Let's start a new project. So we're going to start a project using Glazed and GoGo Labs. Actually, I want to merge a pull request before I do that. So I don't like MCPs. I think usually command line tools are better because it can write shell scripts. But also, ultimately, what I want is like JavaScript. I'm like way down the stack right now and like how to do my JavaScript stuff. But we're going to do shell commands, or like we're going to do binary. Like we're going to build a Go tool that will help us have agents synchronize. And so I have, let me start Redis. And so I have Redis as a primitive, and I had, a while ago, I had Manus do a prototype. And now I regret not having given Manus the task of building what we're going to build now. As I was having dinner. But so what I gave Manus as a task is I wanted to. Redis is cool because it has all these data structures. It allows you to do pub/sub and also persist data and like wait on semaphores. Like it allows you to do all of these things in a distributed setting, right? It's just like such a nice versatile tool. You can write Lua. It's I wish I had spent way more time learning Redis like 15 years ago. And so I had it built like a bunch of Redis bindings, right? So that in JavaScript I could use Redis. And I want to actually use Redis to have processes that communicate with each other through the Redis. So this built some stuff here, and like it built some stuff, and then I asked it to do agent coordination. I don't know where I prompted it to do that actually. Oh, maybe this is like a agent control, Redis powered agent coordination CLI. I don't know where this is coming from. But so I want to have this like agent control CLI tool, which allows me to basically control, like have agents communicate. And so it has these like low level things, which I think are not all that great. But I asked it to do like slightly higher level agent control verbs, and it delivered something that resembles this. So there's low-level Redis operations, pub/sub, queue operations, stream operations, signal operation. Then there's like agent broadcast, task management, and agent coordination. And then if you look at the high-level agent coordinations, you can have these like broadcasts, sending a task to a SaaS queue, looking for tasks to do, maybe coordinate and like wait on other agents, for example. So I wonder what like a good command line verb is, right? That just has like 3-4 verbs, like not too much. So brainstorming that is going to be interesting. Let me merge this guy. Everything's green. Cool. Merge, merge, merge. we can now go, let me just clean this guy up. So this is the glaze dual command and glazed, and I'm gonna fetch the origin, git rebase origin main. What's my workspace status? All right, so I can delete this workspace, which is called glaze dual command, blah, blah, blah. Yes, I want to delete it. Now I can go into glazed. I can pull rebase. I can tag patch and release. So for example, it could be like wait for and then another agent, or like a condition. I think that would be a useful one, like wait for X and then resolve X. I think those could be nice to have, right? Like if I have a sub agent and then it's going to say like, well, I'm going to wait until this other agent has finished its work to then compile and make things work. The other one would be just to have like a pub sub channel where all the bots can communicate, and then like a get communication chatter, right? Like, and a third one would be put knowledge snippet or something like that into, or like today I learned. So I think those three things would be interesting. I don't think we need to have way more than that. I think PubSub, wait for, and task, and then like a knowledge snippet, because then I think they'll be able to put all of this in the chatter channel so that other agents then suddenly when they pull the chatter will know, what other things to wait on or to do like that, right? So let me see. What are the verbs that we might want? Let me just rebase my other project in here. So anyway, we're going to create this new project, and it's going to use glazed and go labs, and then we're going to create it agent synchronization CLI tool. And this agent CLI tool I wonder if I should brainstorm it in ChatGPT. I want to build a simple CLI tool to allow coding sub-agents to communicate. It should be callable as part of their shell exec tool. I want a general pub sub, a simple CLI tool backed by Redis. A general pub sub chatter tool, publish, and then read using the agent ID to get newest messages, something like that. Or maybe just since, right? Something like that. And then read, I'm not even going to specify it to get the latest messages since last agent read. Publishing, reading, documentation, TIL snippets, and then waiting on a certain condition, advertising a certain condition, resolving a certain condition, right? So for example, review agents plus code critic agents can wait on the coding agents to finish. All right, design the CLI API for this tool. The verbs should have semantically meaningful names to make it hard to call them wrongly. I don't know. Yeah, so the orchestration here, I mean, the orchestrator is also just an agent, right? Like, or what do you think an orchestrator is? And agent is like a weird thing anyway. I just think of them as like separate context plus separate control loop plus separate inference calls. I don't know. I kind of want to just say like, look, there's an agent bus tool, and then figure it out, and let kind of the base agent as it is just figure out what to do with it. All right, so this would be agent bus speak. I like that. Agent bus over here since. Okay, cool. Okay. Jot and recall, I like those names quite a bit. And then announce, satisfy, await. Yeah, I really like this. I really like those names. Those are great. So do we want to build it in AMP? Do we want to build it in Manus? Let's build it in AMP. So we already created our workspace, right? Did we create our workspace? Yeah, we did. So we are in Google Labs. I'm going to create 250712. I'm going to put my spec in here. Redis subagent synchronization tool.md. All right, cool. So now I'm going to call AMP. I'm going to say implement 01 Redis subagent in go labs command apps agent. What did it call it? Agent bus. Agent bus. Use parent go mod. Using commands reference. Yeah. Write nice long help descriptions for each verb that are applicable for coding agent tool calling prompting. Not too long, to the point. Then also write a document in go labs command apps agent bus pkg doc topics explaining how to use this to coordinate across agents. C, writing help entries. All right, I think we can go. After implementing the first verbs, start using subagents. Yeah, I'm gonna let that's I think up to like AMP code or Claude Code to choose which model for now. And that's something I think should be done, like what the orchestrator and the actual structure of the control flow of the problem you're trying to do, I think should be created for the problem at hand. I don't think too much should be encoded. This is more like, oh, look, you have like a couple of tools to do, you know, to orchestrate things. And then that's enough for you to start leveraging that. And those are, I have this interesting concept of, so do you have like a reasonably complicated thing to implement that you think would benefit from a custom orchestrator? I have a really complicated one, which I think will fail anyway, and that's also hard to explain. But if you have an idea of something to build that would require, you know, some like cross, I mean, we can make something up, like just some kind of like web page thing, and then build like 3 pages in parallel at the same time, updating the rest in the database, something like that. Yeah, so the orchestrator has to stick to some rules, and so the idea would be, well, every time a new subagent starts, it should get the rules from the knowledge base, for example, right? And then that will like keep these things on track without having to code very much and without having to use files, which files are going to litter your code base, right? And because they litter your code base, every new agent that works on the code base is going to see them as well, and it's going to start integrating with it. Is like I like the idea of having them in a separate database with potentially export verbs to put them back into the code base and then back and forth, kind of hide that from the agents. So while it's really nice to use files, right, like it works really well to have files to coordinate them, I like this idea of having something a little bit more structured, a little bit more rigid, a little bit more to the side, so that your main artifact is a little bit separated from your planning, not just by a directory name, right? Especially since models tend to confuse directory names as well. So we'll see. This is all like kind of, I have a really good gut feeling that this will work great. But then who knows? I always have that gut feeling when I come up with something. But from my initial attempts, it's very promising, because I built something similar yesterday that I need to. Are you on Twitter, Andrew? I would like don't want to put my email on here, but you can contact me on Twitter if you want. It's like Program with AI on Twitter. Cool. This is weird. This is the like sweaty mid case, I think. Um, uh, all right. So it's building this. I don't think this will take too long. And I already lost context about what this is here. Okay. So reading commands reference. Use the dual command pattern now to apply to all verbs, because we don't want these additional guidelines to appear in the structured output. However, the normal writer output should be formatted nice and concisely for an LLM to consume. Build in subagents. So that I'm like, maybe I should commit first. So I'll get back to what this is for, what I'm doing here, but it's a very similar concept. Oh my god, it's always adding the binary. To be more semantically meaningful. All right. I'm curious to see what that does. All right, cool. Yeah, thank you. Oh, did I close my PMs? Did I close my DMs? I'll figure it out later. But yeah, nice to meet you. So let's see. It's writing the final markdown, and then it's going to. Oh, can we use Redis v9? Redis Go client. What's the latest version? Is it v10? v9. Okay. Use Redis v9. Yeah, I'm really curious to see what this is going to do. Maybe I should open Cursor now since we're going to look at the code. So I'm on workspace 6. Let's go on workspace 5. Let's open Cursor. Open this folder. So what agents do you use, Andrew? Cool. Yeah, AMP is great. I haven't used Klein. I really should one day. I'm still like on Cursor. I've got this like $60 plan on Cursor, which allows me to do about $150 of token inference. So I'm kind of staying on it, but it's been letting me down lately. Also, I'm going to switch to O3. Okay, so Agent Bus provides a Redis-backed coordination layer that enables multiple coding agents, export agent ID, build agent 1, channel build, message starting build, speak, channel testing, channel deploy. I don't think we need multiple channels for the speak, do we? Yeah, so there's a couple of things that I think we need to add, or maybe I should go back here. Maybe I should make a to-do. So new file to-do MD. So the first one is no channel for the speak. One is enough. Then for knowledge, add a list keys, a way to list keys. Add instructions to jot, and what was the other one? Instructions to jot slash announce satisfy. To jot, announce, satisfy, print after the action should output the message that the agent should broadcast its action. No, actually, why not have this jot, announce, satisfy, await should also publish to the channel automatically. And I think that's it. Oh, it's still running? Okay, I'm gonna let this finish, and then I think after these little additions, I think that will be pretty good. So what else is in the agent coordination? It's okay, cool, yeah. Also, we want like an implementation guide. Detailing how this is built on top of Redis. And I'll build this. I'll do like a little test agent run. What kind of application could we build? Like we could build a little task planning dashboard. Nah. Could build like a little farm management website with SQLite and Temple. We'll use that as a use case to try out this Redis coordination thing. Actually, what we want is like no need for channel, but each message should have a optional topic with a set of exchanging information, announcing new tasks, task related stuff, starting, creating new tasks, finishing, in progress, messages, updates, start, yeah, finishing, and changing general information, then announcing new knowledge. Optional topic slug. All right, cool. Is this still, what is this doing? What is this doing? Or maybe we don't even need that. That part is actually up to the agent. Okay. I'm gonna be like, create a guide on a concrete example on how to use, create a guide explaining, no, create a guide with a set of examples on how to use Agent Bus to implement software projects. All right. Okay, all files have been updated, so that means we can quickly pass over to this stuff. I'm waiting on model. All right. All right, before it starts testing this stuff, I'm going to add this. Then update the guide. In sub-agents. There we go. All right, we do have a new guide on how to use this for concrete workflows. This has been done by O3. So microservice CI pipeline. Yeah, this is pretty cool. Feature branch collaboration, release and rollback. No, that's actually not to implement concrete software projects like actual applications. Let's redo this. But the model understands what this tool is all about, which is like a good start. Some more ideas, but I should like not put too many ideas in here. Store which agent jotted down something, if not already. Store date for jots and channel speak. All right, so it added a new in-depth tutorial, which looks like CI/CD pipeline, web scraping. No, man, this is not what I want. One is like retail pawn shop POS. Another one would be genomics lab robot control firmware. What's another funky software product? Is like web scrape orchestrator. What was the example that I wanted to do? I don't remember. I had like a cool idea, but mesh network BBS, something like that. All right, so let's look at these real world examples, applications, how to build them. So no, this is not what I want. No. Creating on how to use agent bus. So for each of those, design a workflow for coding agents to collaborate to create this application. So that many agents can work on parts of the code base, testing, documenting, reviewing, bug fixing together in parallel, and use agent bus to coordinate. Hopefully that's a better prompt. It's kind of self-referential, right? It doesn't really understand that an agent is supposed to be building the application versus the application being built by an agent. That's something I've run into quite a bit. Sorry, with the word agent. Maybe I should call them like programming agents or something like that. All right, in the meantime, where's our dude? All right. So that's cool. That means every verb is going to be announcing itself. So that way we don't need to say, oh, I finished this task. You just need to finish the task. All right, so 3 concrete real world software projects. So the retail pawn shop, we have a product owner, architecture, backend agent, front end agent. We have a QA, postdocs, and they can use channels, status, design code, test, deploy alerts. So those are going to be topics. Then we have coordination flags, design, backend building, front end building. Okay, that's cool. And then we can have knowledge snippets. So this would like save a certain snippet. This would put like little things in here. update the document to specify that longer knowledge data should be stored on the file system. That longer knowledge data that is not transient should be stored in a file, and the file name put into the job. Yeah. And then, yeah, so this is actually important here. It's like each command should show which messages have been received since the last time the agent got messages, so that it doesn't have to pull it all the time. All right. Maybe I should do a git commit at some point. Man, I'm impatient again. Like yesterday I was impatient. Today I'm impatient too, to see what comes out. Okay, so test with subagents. So we're gonna add a couple more features. We're gonna commit first. Add initial version of agent bus. Then we're gonna add this. Right, each command shows that way agents don't have to pull themselves if not necessary. And implement these in a sub-agent if not already done. Then update the guide and workflows. In a third sub-agent. All right, and then hopefully we'll be done. And then where will we have it build? We'll have it build hey, this is not an implementation theme, right? The web scrape orchestrator should also be something to be implemented. The agents are just programming agents, not runtime agents. Although that would be interesting too, right? Actually, let me stop that. So replace the web scrape orchestrator by a research, by a web research orchestrator that you can give one topic and then it researches it. Individual researchers, subagents can themselves create new tasks as they find new interesting topics. And maybe I should do a node cleanup. Oh. Oh, but this is like way more interesting than I thought at first. Oh, yeah. So we should also, yeah, we'll see. We'll see in practice. Let's finish this. Let's not overthink this too much after that. Like vibe waiting. I don't mind because I'm tired. I also don't mind not talking, just like staring at the agent. Should go back to the cursor integration. Uh, hopefully the bug I was running into has been fixed. It gave me PTSD. I've never done a deep dive of Redis. Is Redis written in Go? Oh no, this is Go Redis. All right, now we should test the tools. Did it update this? Yeah, it did. Does AMP have a web search tool? All right, cool. Oh, one more feature. add 0 logging and log everything into temp agent bus dot log. That's actually a really important one. Or maybe add a monitor verb that monitors all of these resources and prints them out in real time using a bear command. So actually, let me add this. That one is important just so I can see what's going on. In the meantime, though, we're gonna commit. So command apps add new features to agent bus. Did it already have a monitor command? Oh no, it created it. Okay. Ah, it's the moment where I would start watching videos, trying to think of something to do. I mean, it's fine to let your mind drift as well. It's one of my favorite things about this whole vibe coding is you get to like daydream. I like daydreaming. It's like very calming. It is very calming. I think it's a bit boring on stream, but it's my stream. Trying to think of things I could give Manus to do to burn some credits. Yeah, I know. Just gonna see where this goes. So I'm gonna take these two files inspired by this CLI-driven approach, write a Go application to do dynamic hierarchical task planning. Backed by Redis and SQLite. Workspaces, agent synchronization, Go Labs, command, apps, agent bus, PKG doc, topics. Maybe I should give it the whole code base. Yeah, I'm just gonna zip it. Just gonna wait until it finishes. And then, hey Andrew. Yeah, nothing much happened still. I did, however, create some documents of like example workflows where this pattern could be used. And one that I find pretty cool, because I realized AMP has a web search tool, is like, let's build a web research orchestrator. Let's not do a coding agent, but let's do a scheduler with researcher bot, summarizer, curator, task splitter, knowledge librarian with a bunch of topics and a coordination pattern in here. And then I'm just going to copy paste this into AMP and give it the tool, and then we'll see what happens. That could be pretty interesting. I have it create like a monitor verb so I can see everything that's going on the Redis. But we'll see. Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. I'm really curious to see what it does. I'm going to modify this a little bit, but other than that, oh, Manus is like good in jank. It's very fast. It does some pretty good stuff, and it's always kind of janky. It's interesting. It's really like a little bit like a slot machine, which is fine. Like I just give it like random stuff to do, like porting a package to something else, and it's like, yeah, it kind of didn't work, but it's like interesting to see what it tried. I had it like built a window manager, which is fun. Like I said, like install QEMU and install VNC, and now build a window manager. Actually, I know what I should build. I'm gonna build. Well, I have this, so let's go back and so like install QEMU and build a Lisp operating system. I just always put like ideas like that in there, like really wild projects. And we'll see. So actually I wanted to do DSPy streaming. I did look at it and did a little bit with it last year. I kind of understood it, but not fully. And I wanted to actually look at DSPy on this stream specifically, because I think it's time to get back into the mindset. I find the pattern really, really weird, because it's like someone who knows PyTorch. It's like model after PyTorch when I think of it more as like a compiler passes, right? Because like I don't come from the ML side of things. I come from the compiler programming language side of things. And I had it ported to Go. Actually, that's also something we could do with Manus, right? It's like write a prompt construction optimization framework to build prompts in a structured manner, heavily using the concepts and techniques behind dspy, but instead of using a TensorFlow, no, PyTorch inspired architecture, naming design patterns, model it as a compiler. So input program is prompt structure. Compiler passes is expanding into a real prompt. Optimizer passes eval-driven optimizations separate. And should we use Go? Yeah, use Golang. What's the, I remember looking into that. So prompt compiler, Lisp operating system, and I think we're almost done with the other one, right? So I really like Manus, and like, it's just fast. This one I wonder if I should have passed by like O3 Pro or something up front, but all right, go deeper into dspy and research more about it before moving on. Multi-prompt instruction proposal optimizer. Have you looked into that? Like, do you know more about it? It basically just calls an LLM to optimize. Oh, uses Bayesian optimization. What does that even do? Like, yeah, I did play with that stuff. I think I did play with my Pro as well. And I remember this is also opaque because it was like really weird for me to be like, well, but what does it actually send to the LLM? And how and why? Which I think a lot of people stumble upon, right? Where they're like, what is it trying to, like programmers are like, well, what is it sending to the LLM? And then it's like more like, oh, if you come from PyTorch and ML, you're like, okay, well, once I have this like graph of stuff, then I just like let the GPU crunch. All right, now it's time to zip and upload to Manus. Choose local files, workspaces, 7, 12, agent synchronization, CLI tool, Google Labs, command, apps, agent bus, zip. Use glazed and Golang. See attached program. Cool. Okay, so it has been updated. So let's commit. Right. monitor verb. We're going to build it. Agent bus. And we're going to run it. Oops. Nope. Agent bus monitor. And then we're just going to do some examples, right? Agent ID is used. Export agent ID. Hello. It doesn't show the agent name, right? This is not perfect. Use the dual command pattern to register a writer version for each verb default, and make sure each verb, including speak and jot, shows the latest messages after the normal response. Also, monitor should show the agent ID. Do this all in subagents. But I wonder if we can already start with this. So let's start. We are going to we're going to go back into the main directory. We're going to say using agent bus in your path and the description in workflows MD, and what's the name? It's like agent coordination. Use the web search setup and research the topic of pelican diet. Store all your artifacts in pelican diet / well, let's see what happens. Oh my god. Use subagents, use mcode, subagents, use agent bus to coordinate. Let's see what this magic does. We should start seeing things happening here. Collecting sources on pelican fish diet and feeding habits. Stored knowledge snippet notes researcher fish diet. Yeah, it's working. I wonder, like how interesting it is overall. Like, is it able to store a task list? Uh, so I'm gonna actually stop it. Use the speak to advertise new task requests and also just have agents announce what they are currently doing if they are doing multiple steps. Make sure to run things in parallel in subagents since they can coordinate their work across threads. This is the weird subagent thing is like really confusing M code. Like it will just like not run it in subagents. Now it is. Cool. New research tasks available. Seasonal diet patterns, geographic variations, prey species. Yeah, this is all cool. Starting seasonal pelican diet research from the researcher seasonal. So see, it's creating agents that are named after the task at hand, which is what I was hoping for, right? It's not running multiple agents in parallel, which I wonder. Why did it crash? I don't know. Interesting. But yeah, I think this is probably pretty good. So it announced a flag to synchronize. It's annoying that I have to edit this stuff all the time. So I wonder what's going on. Flag seasonal diet patterns already exists. I wonder what happened in the subagents. Process exited with code. Oh, reach context window limit. Oh, because of the web search. Because I read a website that was too big. Okay, so that's definitely something to flag. So maybe the web search thing was not great. Let me see. Public. I'm gonna go back here. Shared public. Let me just switch screens while I go into my DMs. Yeah, so the web search is maybe a little bit tricky. So maybe we can when fetching data from the web, use curl and then analyze the result or links dump uh, in order to minimize the number of tokens you receive. And try to use as many parallel agents as you can. So that's the other thing I built the other time. The other time is like basically building a graph of tasks that depend on each other, and then that allows it to very easily query like, oh, give me like the next pending task that can be executed in parallel, and then it just like walks the graph, looks at all the dependencies, and then pushes this out. And when you finish a task, it says immediately like, oh, these are the next 3 tasks you can create. And so let me close my DMs and let's go back. It's not passing its sub-agent ID, is it? Always. Ooh, now it crashed entirely. Cool. So it's this one, and threads continue. Always specify the agent ID explicitly when calling agent bus. Continue. Use as many sub-agents in parallel and spawn new ones inside sub-agents even. This is kind of messy. I'll have it after this. I haven't tried OpenCode, no. I really should, but also I'm like kind of happy to have a workflow that I can concentrate on right now, where Mcode being cheaper is not going to bring me anything, and then I also don't think it's going to be any better than Mcode. I think it's just going to be different. And so the current setup allows me to like explore these ideas, which I think are more of a differentiator than switching tools at the moment, right? Like there was this period like 3 months ago or so where I think it made a lot of sense to try out all the different agent tools out there. But now, like Mcode clearly is a really good one, and so because I get enough tokens for my open source, and then I get like all the tokens I need at work, I don't feel like I need to branch out all too much, but also at one point I really want, right? So I have my own so I never built like a real agent by myself for my open source. I just built like frameworks to build an agent one day. That's kind of it. But also I kind of like this CLI tool because it's so easy to experiment with something that's already made, right? Like I tend to focus on these like little workflow ideas. At work, we have an agent. I mean, it was so easy to build, right? Like the hard part was really like the knowledge sources and all of that. Um, goodbye. Goodbye. But yeah, no, I haven't. Do you have your own agent? Like I really need to get into that, especially because I have like a nice command line interface, command line UI that I need to leverage more, right? Like I have this like nice little thing, write a shell script, um, that I started adding all kinds of features to. Um, but I've had this for 2 years and I never really made much with it. I've got a really cool file manager that doesn't work. um, cool. So it's a coding agent. I mean, all the agents are kind of the same, and if you consider an agent to just be like a loop feeding back the LLM into itself. Um, launching massive parallel research, prey species, anatomy, conversation, behavior, nutrition threats. I should have told these agents to like output more data to the channel because I have no idea what they're doing. Yeah, exactly. It's coding if you give it the tools for coding, right? I'm not sure how good this is. Like, why are the sub agents not like calling the agent bus more often? Um, I'm not sure what they're doing. I wonder if I should go look. Use as many agents as you can. So 1 thread, 2 threads, 3 threads, 4 threads. So this is calling announce. This is calling announce. Why is it waiting on announce? Announce. Okay, so this is something else that we need to add. Add a default timeout for announcing joining. So why does announce lock? So we're gonna kill it for now. No, I'm not working for Charm Bracelet or Charm. I just like their libraries. I don't know what happened with the open code. I'm like kind of not interested. I feel it's a little bit toxic, the whole thing. But yeah, I really like their approach to just like branding. I have no idea how they make money. Like, what is their business model? I just don't understand it. I've got like, look what Manus built for me. This one's wild. Um, I asked Manus to build me a file picker in Go with Charm Bracelet, and it kind of built this. Yeah, Teenage Engineering. I've got a ton of stuff by Teenage Engineering. I've also got this one, which a guy gave me, and he like never reset his account, so I've never used it. But I've got like an OP1, like a bunch of PO things. But so look at this file picker that Manus built. It has like multi-select, and you have like previews. You have like the help that you can toggle. You can copy, paste, cut. You can search. Like it's just wild. uh, then I added like I think the glob is actually broken, but that's I try to add that later on. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy, and also I kind of broke my application trying to build this in. Um, all right, so this announce thing is problematic, and I knew this like kind of waiting on a condition is like maybe not the best thing to do. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if you should like rather. I don't know. This feels like something where definitely I need to spend a little bit more time looking at the primitives than just like entirely vibe coding the whole thing and just like being, I don't know, man. Just do something. Um, because so the manus tasks are finished. Like, what did it create here? So this is the prompt compiler framework. So did it ever run it? It built it. Test the CLI tool. Prompt compiler. Make a mock LLM and then do some optimization against LLM evals like dspy. Also implement parsing like in dspy first. Clone the dspy directory and inspect and analyze. I've never done this before. Never. Never have I asked Manus to clone a repo. Then port it over. So this is the Lisp OS. I don't think this got it to run, right? Okay, test the QEMU and tmux to make it easier to input keys, and then evaluate a couple of expressions to make sure it actually loads. So this is the jank that Manus will do, right? It's like it will say that stuff works, and then you're like, I think it just like hangs while booting. And you're like, yeah, you should actually test the real functionality. And so the task planner here is also going to be, I think, the simple demo. See, it's like, cannot connect to Redis. And you're like, well, maybe you should install Redis. Install Redis and then make sure all of this works. If you have trouble running Redis, feel free to use QEMU as a fallback. So that's the same thing where it's like, yeah, well, it kind of works because the program doesn't crash, but actually it doesn't work. So it's always like a matter of finding tricks to make sure that it actually does the right stuff. So here you can see that it's like trying to boot this and like nothing happens. So we'll see. It's always interesting to see how much it's able to do or not, because sometimes some really, really cool stuff comes out, and then sometimes just like some, like the file picker, for example, I was like, oh, that's great. So yeah, I like Golang for command line tools because it's like a single binary, right? And then you can just like copy it around. And I really like, I've got like my whole framework to make to do like structured data output and like tables and like flags and all kinds of things which make it, I even like, this is the latest thing that I built is like the documentation of the program is like compiled into it, right? And so for example, I think Agent Bus might actually even have that. Yeah, topics. All? No. Oh, I could actually also add that. So where were we? So in here, it's also add glazed help system, like in glaze main to register the docs. Also fail if no agent is provided. Nah, I'm not gonna add too much. I don't know, this is turning into its own little side quest. Um, but yeah, I really like, see these like little tables that I have here. That's my framework. And you can have it output as JSON and all that. But also, it's like a nice little framework to define the verbs. So if you look at, say, announce at the code here, see, I have this thing called like a command description, and then you can give it like the docs, like nothing too crazy, but you have like flags you can define their type, and then you can like do all kinds of introspection. Like if I do agent bus, what else did I do here with agent bus? Did I do some calls? Yeah, it like so if I do dash dash help, so here it's, yeah, the help system is not all too great, but I can do print parsed parameters. Like it allows me to like kind of scan the parameters. I can load them from like profiles or from flags or from an environment file. I can load them from JSON, and I can layer them. So for example, at work, we have this like one service, and it has like Postgres and Redis and Sidekick and um, like a ton of LLM configurations and like Elasticsearch. And so all of these flags or environment variables, like those are able to just load from my different frameworks. Um, yeah, you can. So they have something pretty cool actually, which is called HA, Charm Bracelet HA, which, and then Charm Bracelet Gum, um, which you can just put into shell scripts, right? So like Charm Bracelet Gum, you just say like, oh, please say gum confirm, right? And then you'll have you'll have you can just do gum confirm, and then it will give you like a little widget like this. And then you have like a bunch of those. So that's pretty useful just to like put into your shell scripts. And HA is a simple way to do like forms, right? Like you have like a programming language for forms, and I built something that's called uh-oh, which is, man, I don't remember how it works. Uh-oh. Yeah, so it can even run like wizards. Um, oh, look at that. I do need to adapt it to the new glazed thing. So I actually even remember how to do that. Commands, run command. So help. You can do help command. I think it's called like this. And then set up Cobra help command. I still know how to program by hand. Almost. Help system has no field or method. Oh, because that's another file. So I didn't know how to do it. Next one. And then help system. Not enough arguments to set up Cobra command. Oh, because I forgot. All right. And so what this guy allows you to do, if you look at the YAML here, It's like a little wizard language, right? Like you have an intro screen, and then you have like a user category screen, and then you have like developer questions and designer questions and manager questions, and so you can just run it. And also like, okay, welcome, please answer a few questions, and then you can like get your first category, and then you can like basically go through the whole form. So um, yeah, I mean, in Python, you have this great library called Textual. I would just use that if you're in Python. It's actually way more full featured than Charm Bracelet stuff. It's like it's a crazy, crazy framework. I'm jealous, right? It's like I hate Python so much, but I'm really jealous of this thing. If you do JavaScript, there's like Ink.js, which is pretty cool. So I did some Ink.js is kind of like React for command line applications. It's really fun. And so I had Manus build me a JavaScript VM that executes Ink.js as a Charm Bracelet widget, which which is kind of wild, but it actually works. Uh, that was one of the pleasant surprises, right? It's like, holy shit, it's like a JavaScript VM inside Go that runs Ink.js. Um, yeah, I have way too much scars from Python. Uh, it's been really, really traumatic. Looks like it works. Looks like it added the help system. All right, this is a 2 hour stream. I want to get this like the announce issue. I think might be a little bit tricky to understand. So why does announce go block? Because the announce command when run in writer mode always ends by calling show latest messages. That helper is meant to print only the last few messages, but the implementation first fetches every entry in the Redis stream and only then slices the result. Xref range and no count limit forces Redis to return the entire stream if it already contains thousands of messages, but that's not the case, right? First request only the needed count, and then, okay, try that. And also add debug logging for debugging where announce seems to hang. I'm gonna wait to synchronize with the other one. I wonder if like Sonnet's gonna do like a whole if it's gonna start to completely slopify the system. Also, we do need like a clear command or like something like a project prefix. Add clear reset command. Add something like project prefix. Why are you testing the entire help system? You don't need to test all of it. I wish I could communicate with the sub agent from the top. All right, so these guys were waiting, and then I canceled them. All right, this is Manus. It's reading the SPI source code still. Then here it did the Lisp OS complete disk IO issue in bootloader. The system is getting stuck at loading kernel in the stage 2 bootloader. This appears to be a disk IO issue with a this is a common issue and doesn't reflect on the core Lisp implementation. Yeah, but fix it. Fix the disk issue. And then here, this was the Redis. What was the thing? Oh, hierarchical task network in Redis. So how did that come to be? Basic Redis operation, Redis test agent, task planner, task claim. task claim, and then task claiming works. Redis required. what, what is that? Uh, Wait, what did it create? CLI commands. Implement and test all CLI commands. Right? This is what I mean by it's jank. It's like it will do something. It's kind of like the tenor. Where's my oh, there we go. Okay, cool. So we're gonna fix this in and we're gonna add this here. Figure out why announce might be hanging. To avoid cross-contamination. Required as env variable. Okay, so even more stuff. It's starting to get a little bit runaway. All right, so this thing is like if you jump to live, you can kind of see it doing things. And because it's the third time that I interact with it, there's a good chance that it starts like overwriting everything. So there's always this, like, it's great for one-shot greenfield. So it really is kind of like a roulette table. Sometimes interesting stuff comes out, sometimes not so interesting stuff comes out. Like here, it implemented like a single verb. I don't know why it did that. And then here, it just like decided to not build this. And you can see it's going to create like a whole new version of the Lisp OS. So oh, look at that. This time it was able to fix it, right? And then I'm curious to see if it's able to run the interpreter. But yeah, I don't have like huge hopes for this. I really didn't give it like any instructions. I wonder if I should run the roulette twice. All right, 400 bytes. Oh no. Yeah, I don't know if I actually should have told it to use tmux. It's like that's the other thing. I think it does know how to interact with terminal UIs. So this is creating all kinds of verbs that it kind of didn't do at first. And then the new version of the DSPy is new bootstrap few shot, new signature builder with instructions. And then how does it, did it run this? Test mock LLM creation, testing signature system, executing module system. Output, this is this. Testing chain of thought module. Testing signature parsing. Completed with score 0. Oh, I don't know what this is. Write extensive unit tests for the optimizer, no, for the parser to get structured data back. Model on the Python. Also implement the MyPro optimizer and write unit tests, mock data to make sure it works as well. This is just a way for me to kind of like burn money, I guess. But then it's always kind of interesting then to go back and then look at those things. So sometimes I'll do these streams that I call like unwrapping presents. I have some pretty cool stuff that it built for me, like pattern matchers and like these Redis bindings and JavaScript stuff, and then like Kubernetes tools. Those were really interesting. Like the Meshtastic simulator is also something that I looked into with. So it often comes out stuff that is like a little bit jank, but like teaches me a lot about what's possible or what is not, right? Because it will like, when it runs into a problem, that's usually like an interesting thing to understand why it failed. And then that allows me to immediately get to like the meat of the complexity and things. So kind of interesting. Kind of an interesting approach, and it's like it's hard to clock in as like how productive does that make me, because like obviously I would never be able to write this at this speed, but also they're kind of garbage and I'm not using them. So what I get out of it is like better ideas and potentially huge building blocks for stuff that I so I no, I think Meshtastic is a different protocol than LoRaWAN. I don't know much about radio. I just got them last week, so that's why I had it like build a simulator at first. I got like a bunch of them. I actually wanted to program on them today, but got distracted by like many different ideas. I have like two ESP32 based ones. Then I have like a T Echo, I think it's called, and then a MusiWorks R1. And then I got an SDR. So my previous stream, or like the stream two backs, I was doing a lot of SDR stuff with LLMs on the stream. That was really cool. I really enjoyed that. Like the GNU Radio SDR stuff. I'm so annoying that there's like this schism with open source and LLMs, because like there's so much that I could contribute. I'm like, I don't want to get into an LLM debate. Like I'm sure all these GNU people are gonna be, we want to keep our, our undocumented ugly software. That is really cool, but it's like not very appealing. And I answered a lot of questions by just pointing an LLM at it. To not be able to contribute and say like, oh look, I will just like make documentation for each component in here, and yes, I will review it by hand. It's I'm a bit annoyed by that, but all right. So it fixed it. Kernel loaded successfully. Yeah, but does the interpreter work? Does the interpreter work, however? Make it work, keyboard plus terminal driver. No, I guess you don't need tmux if you can interact with the terminal using keys. Booting interpreter eval expression using. I don't know if this is starting to push it too far. This is starting to get expensive, I think. This guy is still writing its different commands in one big file, noted. right? Like this is going to be a gigantic file. That's a problem that I didn't give it its guidelines when I started. Um, that's also some Manus shit. Um, oh well. And this guy's still running. But this was promising. I think there's something to continue investigating there. I'm not sure about these like gates to synchronize if they're all that useful. They would be cool because they allow like a model to like kind of get at least stalled a little bit until something happens. Since I don't have control over when to start and resume an agent, at least now, um, that allows me to do a little bit of the stalling kind of thing. Uh, but then I'm not sure how it got implemented and why it might have been hanging before. Because announce is like not something that should be hanging, I think. So I'll probably have to print this out and like read it at breakfast tomorrow. I like printing out source code as well. Actually, I wonder, um, I've never tried that. So if I go into agent synchronization tool and I go into GoGo Labs, command apps agent bus, right? And then I do Python m HTTP server. Is that the Python m Synto? No, Python 3 HTTP dot server. Okay. 999, no, 3000. And Grok. Okay, and then 2. Okay. I'm curious about this. Write a full book about this software. Read all the source on this page. If I do a deep research on that, and then if I do the same in Claude, what happens? Oh shit. So what did Manus finish here? Oh, all the Redis stuff? No, that's the JavaScript version. This is the agent bus part. The task planner CLI now has all the verbs. Live test results. Plan create, task update. So this is pretty cool. I like, right? Like I think there's like a good chance that this actually works. Which could also be very useful. Oh, I can see the agents hitting this. Oh, this is fun. I wonder how far the deep research is going to get into it. I should have given it like the markdown start things. Because I don't think they get all that deep into a page once they start crawling it. I don't think they're good at that. reading the to-do. See, what is this guy reading? Why is it not able to read this? It should be, right? I'm struggling with fetching content. Opening it via... That is weird. Okay, I'm identifying software command files. Okay, so it seems to be going. An accessible type URL, ngrok URL. Interesting. Well. So the task planner complete CLI tested. That could be quite interesting to look at, I think. Let me see if I, yeah, there I have a file. I have a vibes repo. So I'm going to create 25012 and download task planner complete CLI tested. Okay. Move CLI implementation report into the task planner, and then go work use dot, go run cmd. What? Oh. Okay, I mean, cool. Let's try something. Yeah. Let's try something. Hey, let's make this here. Test task planner project. And then here, Pelican Farm. And amp. No. Use the task planner. Is that what I called it? Task planner? Yeah. Planner tool to coordinate multiple agents to build a Pelican farm management software. Plans can be created, executed, tasks can be dynamically added as needed. Build in Golang with Go templates and SQLite. All right, I'm curious to see if that will work, because this tool looks pretty nice. It's better than what I came up with. So yeah, run the task planner help first to see what it offers. Only then continue and try to use it as much as possible. I actually have no idea how the task planner tool is implemented, so I don't know where it stores its stuff. which maybe I should look at before I look at that. I think I told it to use SQLite, right? Yeah. So I'm telling it to look at the help, right? Yeah, that worked. The simplest solution at the end was like the best. Although I'm still curious to see what's possible with the other one. Yeah, it's always like I know that there's a very simple thing behind it, right? It's just I'm just trying to find like the right primitives, and these primitives look really good. Like the task planner, they're just like look like very nice verbs, right? Like plan create, plan list, plan show, task assign, task claim, task delete, task list, task release. Like those are much better than my names. Um, which is why LLMs are great because they're just like good, no nonsense, straightforward kind of architects. Like they're just good at naming stuff and at just like making things simple. You know what I'm talking about, like the API layer. It's like refreshing to see, oh shit, this is so easy. I should have thought of that. And then, like, if the LLM tells you, like, oh, I didn't find this API, then often I'm like, okay, well, I better implement it because that's probably the better API. um, so you're running out of tokens, yes. So this continued to do things. Git add command apps. And so add required project prefix. So now update the document with these new features. I don't know how much it remembers. So which is the other reason why I want to have these SQLite based things is that to restart something, it's like kind of easy to say, just like get the last tasks and then figure out why they were created. And it's like able to trace the whole thing back. So I'm curious to see if we do task planner and then it's like task list, right? Yeah, it will tell us like the whole thing here, like the plan ID, the ID. I don't like the fact that it uses UUIDs. So filter ID, plan ID. And then why is this so long? What else can we create it at? Created at estimated hours. What the fuck? Actual hours. Blocked reason. Blocked reason is maybe, I don't know. Parent ID. All right. Actual hours, due date, blocked reason. I'm going to leave the blocked reason. That sounds fun. So if we, so we have this, right? And then we have task planner. Plan list. We only have one plan, right? Yeah, this is nice, right? Yeah, it was the simplest thing that worked. Because I literally just said like use task planner help and then do it, right? And it's doing two in parallel. So it didn't create a task for this new one, right? Execute front-end development tasks. Oh no, it does. So it should, I mean, hopefully it doesn't forget to like update tasks be to update the status. So there's this additional prompting that I want to have in the task planner help itself, right? And then not just that, but also in the output of each command call so that it's constantly reminded of how to use these tools. Because I think it forgot to uh, to do this, right? So one thing we're going to do is like always update tasks statuses as you go, create many small granular tasks as you work as well to give us good visibility. We definitely need to know if a task started um, out of planned. I continue in as many sub-agents as needed. And when you can parallelize things, create new tasks and then new sub-agents. Um, this kind of prompting, like this is, I think, where the complicated part is going to be, is that finding the ways to really make it robust. And I think outputting the workflow as part of the tool results themselves is what's going to keep these things on track, that they're constantly reminded once they like set the task to active to be like, okay, well, please broadcast on the channel that you started or something like that, right? But yeah, this is cool. It's not running in sub agents though, but it's going to start 3 agents in parallel. Cool. It's built itself a script. That's hilarious. It built itself a shell script to control the task planning. The fuck? No, it didn't. What was it talking about? I don't know what that was about, the shell script stuff. Node Bootstrap JS. Didn't I tell it to use Go? Whatever. Um, yeah, it would be good to have like a status update part in here, right? So that's something it didn't add, but it would be cool to see a little bit more detail. All right, so it updated the documentation, added project prefix, added project prefix. So let's try the exact same thing with Agent Bus. Go build O Agent Bus command apps Agent Bus. And so now if I do Agent Bus help, and I can do help on the UI, and then I can do knowledge sharing. It has like all kinds of examples. All right. So we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to like basically give it no knowledge at all on how to do this. And then figure out what it does. Right. So Maybe we'll start a new terminal and we'll go into, actually, let's go in vibes as well. And then that's going to be my last thing for the day. So we're going to say make dir test agent bus project, right? And then we're going to call amp. No, use to discover the agent bus tool, which you are going to use at every step of the development, especially to be able to coordinate the maximum amount of parallel subagents and have them coordinate. Oh, I already said that. I want to build a Golang plus templates, Go templates web application to manage a Pelican farm. Be very granular and try to use agent bus, especially the speaking, as much as possible. Tell me which project ID you use. All right, let's do the same. Actually, export project prefix Pelican farm. And then we're just going to continue. The project prefix env variable is already set to Pelican farm. Continue. Use as many subagents as possible once you figure out the workflow. Cool. So I'm wondering if I do export project prefix Pelican farm, and then I do agent bus monitor. Agent ID is required. Why would I need an agent ID? Global flags. All right, well. Yes. Why is it doing node? So this has more things active, right? Yeah, very cool. The styling agent has finished, but it hasn't finished its task. Interesting as well. What is it with node? Scripts agent bus speak structure. Why is it trying to do that? No, the binary, what? The binary is agent bus, not node. That was weird. It's the second time it does that. That was really weird. Look at that. It does node scripts agent bus JS again. All right, something's weird here. What the fuck? That is so weird. Why could that be? Is it something in here that says agent bus JS? No, where does it get that idea from? That is so weird. Use agent bus. Is this like something in the training corpus? No. To coordinate multiple agents, use as many sub-agents as necessary. I don't know where you have this node agent bus JS idea from. Where do you get that from? Don't use it. I know, my prompting is horrible. That's so weird. That's so weird. Why did it hallucinate that both in this agent and in the other one? Where is it coming from? I thought I allowed this command. Yeah, so the prompt engineering around these tools is going to be like the interesting part, right? This one works well because the names, the verbs are just great. The other one I think is just like very complex and over engineered maybe. And also I don't have like good visibility into it, right? Um, agent bus speak topic model created Pelican form instructs with supporting types. Okay. So it's jotting down a note. That's cool. Which it failed because it didn't look at the help. Now it's satisfied the model's flag. I wonder why we don't see the other actions. That's I should do like a proper event-driven part for this. Yeah, interesting idea. Needs refinement. Because, for example, announcing the flag should also like kind of I don't know. There's also agent bus log, right? Is it hanging as well? Waiting for coordination flag. So I think this flag waiting thing was like not not great. New flag announced and waiting for coordination flag. Timeout 1800. That's like 30 minutes, huh? Don't use coordination flags. So the flag stuff was like without being sure that someone is working on it already. Set timeout to 10 seconds. Something like that. I don't know. I don't know. There's primitives as how the sub agents are spawned that I think would be necessary to probably make this make this really robust. Because I can't really query if like I mean I can query M code, right? It's like it has you can see the different sub processes running, but still it's like not great. I wonder when they're gonna add like an SDK kind of functionality, because that would really help. Yeah, this is like less interesting than the other thing, right? I wonder why it set them all as actives, even though the sub agent is actually not running. Or if it like, I don't know. Yeah, because here it satisfied the flag. This was cool. I think you should be waiting if like no one has like claimed work starting on it, then it should be. Yeah, the flag synchronization thing, that's going to be an interesting one. Because I really want this where when I like set 8 agents to work on the code base in parallel and then have them lock files and unlock them, but then also say like I'm done, now we could try compiling. That would be pretty good to have. I know Cursor has something like that across tabs. I mean, it's already fun to just have like a chatter channel. Like I don't know how easy it is to like how much it is conducive to having more sub agents, but I can probably what would be probably funny is like launching 2 AMP codes and each giving them like the same project prefix. Let me do that. Maybe more interestingly would be doing it in here. I don't know. Would this be something to be doing in here? Let's try it. So it was in vibes. And here, task agent bus project, AMP. All right. No, use agent bus help -- all to discover the. Oh, I need to set the project prefix. AMP. No. Read. Explore. Agent bus help -- all to learn about the agent bus. It is the core for our agent coordination system. There are already many agents working on this code base. Coordinate with them and share work. Okay, that's actually the fun part of it. Because they should start talking to each other. They should make sure that they use different agent IDs, right? Always use the agent ID prefix Um, Balonga. All right, this is gonna be fun. So it's like coordinating Balonga amp joining coordination ready to assist with Pelican farm management. And now it's going to start reading the thing. Okay, so that's the I'm now coordinated and ready to contribute. Continue. Yeah, that I mean that was the whole point of all of this. I was like, I don't know why I didn't think of it, is that I wanted to have control over sub agents by running them in parallel. So I'm really curious to see how they're going to start synchronizing and if they're going to be able to do that. Um, so this guy is already starting to build. Is like, make sure you announce what you are doing to the other agent and wait for acknowledgement. Because we want them. Okay, so those are primitives that we need, right? It's like request response. So things do need a request. That's maybe the better way to synchronize, actually. Yeah, much better than semaphore flags. Semaphore flags are just like nasty. It's gonna be, yeah. That's a really good idea. I think that was the missing part. Add a request response. Wait for response. Verb to have blocking chatter. That's the thing. That was a missing part. That's going to be the key to it. Is like you have a speak command, and then you have the possibility to store things in a database, and then all the rest they can figure out by each other, by themselves, right? It's like literally just speaking across the wire. That's the only thing you actually need. And then one of them you can tell like use SQLite, and then it will tell the other. Yeah. Why didn't I think of that? I'm like so stupid. But I'm not gonna do it today because it's already late. All right. Well, this was worth it. I know that this idea of speak and wait for a response, that's going to be perfect. That's going to work. I like this, like requesting permission. So the recent messages is like, so maybe have an orchestrator agent run. Also have an orchestrator agent run and periodically pull the messages to coordinate across agents. Yeah, so you're right. Like we should have like one amp running as a coordinator. And that doesn't even need to be AMP code, right, per se. It could be like something else. Yeah, the flag system was like not great, I think. What is this guy waiting on? Yeah, that was just like not a good idea. It's too complicated. So this was the orchestrator, and then the other one, explore. Make sure you announce this, and then here it's doing agent bus over here, follow max 5, and then it's blocking. It shouldn't do follow, right? What is the orchestrate all sub-agents doing? All right, so it's running its orchestration loop. This guy is waiting for 5 messages, but that's not a good way to do things, right? Don't use follow. If you need to wait, use sleep 10. So now they're starting to talk to each other. Do you see that? That's fun. Yeah, I think a simple request wait for response. That's like exactly the right way to do stuff, and then like an orchestrator that runs in a loop. I mean, it's obvious now once you say it, right? But like you could have, say, 2 orchestrators. You can do all kinds of like funny things as you move along, right? Because now we can start a third one. No, use agent bus help dash dash all and discover the orchestrator and other participants and take part in the project. They will tell you all the needed info. That's going to be fun. No need to look at the log file. So it's going to read. Oh, I need to set the project prefix. Actually, let me just. Make sure this doesn't happen again. AMP threads continue. Continue project prefix is set. All right, continue. Tell the orchestrator to run more sub-agents as well. Run things in parallel as orchestrated. Nope. So, no, not the monitor. Also, don't use dash dash follow. Instead, use sleep 10 if you need to wait, Paul. Oh, use agent prefix Cinderella as well. You can start many agents, by the way, in parallel using AMP sub-agents. Yeah, new agent joined, AMP available for work. Created Pelican, Peli, and Sunyshore farm, database operational. Welcome AMP and Cinderella AMP. Integration test complete, suggesting work distribution, AMP as static assets, Cinderella AMP, API documentation, Balonga AMP, deployment prep. So the interesting thing is that AMP doesn't exist. That was like a mistake, but it's really funny. Yeah, and they're starting to do like the deployment prep and talking all of it. So all it takes is like a shared channel. And then if we do blocking wait response, they can like literally coordinate everything else. They can have a knowledge base in SQLite, or they can use like task planner that we already gave them. So yeah, this is really, really, really fucking promising. I love that. And so this guy is doing I wonder if it's going to mark everything as completed as it goes. But that's something the orchestrator can like kind of manage. Oh, I really like that. And you can like mix and match any coding agent by just telling them like, here's agent bus. Right? Like if I want to add cursor to the mix. So where's cursor? Let's open cursor on open folder. And then this is code, corporate headquarters, vibes, 12. Then tests agent bus project. Okay, run agent bus dash dash help dash dash all to discover the, oh yeah, restart. To discover the agent bus command, you use the agent prefix Snow White, but you can be many agents as needed. Join the fun. There's an orchestrator agent you can talk to. And let's use Claude for Sonnet. I wonder if they're going to fight each other over port 8080. But let's have cursor join the mix, huh? So let me add that to the settings. Tools and integration, no. Models, general, chat. Command allow list, agent bus. Continue. When polling, use sleep 10. Why is it back to 03? Yeah, announce is a bad word. Why wasn't it able to find like the right speak? Okay. So now it says, oh, Snow White joined. Oh, the sub-agent orchestrator has finished. So I should launch an orchestrator. Run the orchestrator again. Timeout waiting for flag static assets. Yeah, these flags were a bad idea. I'm going to stop this guy. This was a good experiment. Yeah, the flag were a mistake. Let me see if I can help with the Docker SQLite issues. That's so funny. Let me check the Docker setup. So now they're going to like I can help with the Docker SQLite issue. The problem is Sego enabled, but Matten rely. Oh, this is great. Oh my God. Fantastic work, everyone. Oh my God. This is so good. This is so good. I find it, I cracked the nut. This makes so much sense. It's like so obvious. I knew there was something so obvious on there hiding underneath. I mean, after that, I don't know if it's going to be helping with the non-slop, right? Like, I think there's going to be a lot of prompting around it still, but it's a really easy way to just tell Cursor and OpenCode to work together by telling them you could talk to each other. That's literally all it is, right? It's like I said, look, you have an agent bus, and then you can talk to each other. So for example, running the server, that's something that should be a very, very simple agent that's not even an LLM agent, just something that's called like, oh, the server runner, and it only listens to this topic to do that. Like you don't need an LLM to have something that runs the server. Right? Because it starts doing this shit and it's horrible. And the orchestrator, same. It should just be like an LLM loop thing that resets itself in terms of a context window and just is like kind of the whole plan is in there, and it's able to read the past conversation a little bit and like keep a change log or something like that. Yeah, this is really fun. This is really, really a fun technique because they can exchange like shell commands with each other to test things as well, right? Um, like what we can do is write a short guide I can give to the next employee on how you use Agent Bus to work with others. It should be self-contained. So I don't know what this guy's probably waiting on a flag again. I made like a mistake with the flag. All right, but anyway, this is I think I cracked the nut. I think I found the base tool that I want. The task planner is pretty cool, and then the chatter is pretty cool, and then all the rest it can kind of like synchronize, built upon by themselves, right? Um, so Cinderella deploy was, who was Cinderella? Oh, it's this guy, right? Okay. Remove the dependency management part. Yeah, because await flag, announce flag, that's like weird names. It should be like wait for X, unblock X. If at all, I think the telling them to sleep is like a good way to do that. Okay, cool. Where's the guide? Okay. So we're going to start a new agent using these instructions, um, coordinate with the other agents and make up plans for a new walrus wing and share with others by giving them the file names. Yeah, I think that might be enough. I don't know why this dude is like struggling like that. It's gonna be okay. You sleep and over here to listen to the chatter and jump in when needed. Oh, and my cat is meowing, which is going to trigger me. And let's launch the other one, and let's launch the other one and orchestrate everybody. So this is annoying that it's like auto run, and then let me undo the auto run thing here. It's chat, and then it's not auto running because I have a deny list. So now it's creating an architecture for the walrus wing, and then it's going to, these guys are sleeping and coordinating and just like listening to each other. And I think the last max 5 over here stuff is not really working all that well. But we'll see. That's like, now that I know what I'm going for, I can probably recreate it and be like careful about it. I don't know what's going on here. This looks like pretty crazy. It's writing so much junk because it's Sonnet, but whatever. It's writing so much shit. It's crazy. You just can't use Sonnet for anything, huh? Come on, you're still writing a plan? Oh my god. All right, so now it's storing this. I've created 3 documents. Let me also store technical details in the knowledge base. So are those guys coordinating? Oh, I told them to make up a protocol to coordinate with each other, and they are. Yeah, this is all pretty fun. Cinderella AMP has started on the front end. Is that true? None of them is doing any work. Okay, please run orchestrator agent. Hey, stop it. Okay, so now the orchestrator is running because it wasn't running before. Continue. No one's doing any work. This is not great. So apparently Belonga has started the walrus by itself, but no one is working. Actually implement some stuff and tell everybody to get to work. Okay, this is... Oh man, no one's doing work. They're just chatting. Okay, now take charge operator and make orchestrator and make sure everybody is working. Ask the orchestrator for work. See agent bus coordination guide. Okay, now they're all building stuff. Orchestrator taking charge. Yeah, the flags are a problem for sure. But also some kind of synchronization, I think through the task tool. That's the way to do it. So I think the task SQLite database that we had plus coordination plus assignment, that's going to be the magic combo. I have a feeling. I don't know what this thing is like installing React and stuff, but all right. I think I'm gonna call it a stream. I think this was really successful. I think aggressive coordination. Oh my god. All right. Yeah, I have to stop. This cat is triggering me. That was fun.